Hey guys, wanted to bring in another video of something that just came up. DeRon Williams of the Brooklyn Nets has agreed on a buyout with the Brooklyn Nets again, and this is going to pave way for him to join the Mavs. And this is something he wanted, which is very unusual, I guess, because of his hometown, and that's what he wants to go back to his hometown. Unlike DeAndre, uh, he, I'm just surprised without DeAndre Jordan being there. DeRon Williams wants to be there. It's going to be about 2 years, worth $10 million. I think the buyout for Brooklyn agreed upon is about 24, 26 million between there. But it just doesn't make sense because he had an opportunity to join the Mavs a couple years ago, and then he ended up joining or staying with the Brooklyn Nets for more money. And now that he is going to join the Mavs, and especially the Brooklyn Nets, they had a better opportunity to stay and go to playoffs. I know that the Nets are willing to try to shed salary and all that. I mean, they were honestly trying to shed Joe Johnson's salary before trying to get rid of DeRon Williams. So I don't know. It just didn't make sense for DeRon Williams to jump on the wagon and try and get a trade, or not a trade, but to get a buyout going. And for that reason, just doesn't make sense for his career. I know he has been a steady decline, but to play in the West, there's a lot of good point guards. You gotta play the likes of Steph Curry, Chris Paul, and especially Chris Paul. You're the one who had to play with him against him since you got drafted. Like you got compared to Chris Paul because of that draft, and I just don't see how this is a better opportunity. Except, hey, you're playing for your hometown. Yes, that might be neat and cool, but then there's also some people say, hey, when you go back to your hometown, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of family and friends that want tickets every game. For him to be in Brooklyn, it was a better situation, I thought, because at least it's an easy pathway to get into the playoffs and give yourself an opportunity to try to get a championship. I mean, look at the Cavs. The Cavs only had LeBron James, yes, the best player, but then almost, I would say, 3 or 4 of their best players or contributors were gone in the playoffs. And for them, that just tells you. And then like Chicago, there's so many different teams that, hey, if you got a couple good players, or even the Atlanta Hawks, they don't have any superstars, but enough talent to get through. So it's just very unusual for. I mean, if I was DeRon Williams, like I said, I would have preferred to opt it to try to stay in the East than going to the West. I have no problem saying, hey, going to the West, but you gotta be in a better situation than the Mavs. The Mavs just lost out to DeAndre Jordan. They got Zaza Pachulia from a trade. So obviously they're trying to fill out bodies and try to give the best opportunity, sound like, for Dirk Nowitzki, because Dirk believed in the Mavs and Mark Cuban word by saying, hey, I'm going to defer a lot of my money to try give you this money to give me a best opportunity to try to win a championship. And Dirk is probably thinking, hey, we haven't really spent any of this money, and they're using up this money for Wesley Matthews. I believe I heard last that they gave him up to $70 million because they had nobody else to spend it on. So that's because all the big key name free agents are gone, and so that's something that is very shocking in that sense. And they can't go to the route like trying to absorb salary for players that might be in trouble or anything. So, and they don't have any big assets that they can make trades on. because they're short on some bodies because they lost a lot of players. So again, go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe on what you think of DeRon Williams' decision to get a buyout done and then most likely sign with the Mavs once he clears waivers. Alright, thanks.